Mr. Barbershop Connect himself.
What
made you do the BarberCon Phoenix?
Okay, so what made me do it is, years ago, there was a brand, Gibbs Grooming, and we helped launch that brand for them, and they basically went to a big hair show, and they ended up by the fire escape at the hair show. And they were so upset, they said to me, oh, we're never doing that again. Can you next year do a show for us? I said, I have no idea how to do a show. I am not interested in doing that. He said, how hard can it be? I said, it can be very hard. So we did our first thing, which was the Barbershop Connect Showcase, which was a free event that had 800 people. The problem is when you run Barbershop Connect and you see the numbers, you don't realize they're real people. So we ended up having 3,000 people outside that couldn't get in, and I was completely overwhelmed by that. Then I said, we got to go bigger next year, but bigger means, more money and just a bigger market. So he basically said to me, well, I'm open to bringing other brands in as long as they're cool and have a good time. So I said, okay, cool. So it ends up, the guy who was working with me at the time, Eric, came to me and said, oh, I just went to this thing called Comic-Con. There's no BarberCon, And he's like, Jay Majors should call his event BarberCon. So I said, all right, so call Jay Majors and tell him to change CT Barber Expo to BarberCon. So he called Jay. Jay said, no, my event is called the CT Barber Expo. I said, you know what? I like the idea of BarberCon, so I'm going to call this BarberCon. And that's how it started. But what I did differently was this. I realized that I had relationships with all these different brands. And I knew that I could make a trade show that would be really, really big. But my problem with that was I didn't like the vibe of a trade show. I didn't want to be in a convention center. And I wanted it to feel like a music festival for hair, where every market has a different feel, it has different brands, and so on and so forth. And you have the best of the best in one room. The biggest challenge was bridging the gap from cosmetology to men's grooming, because our second event was 98% male. And, from a brand perspective, where's the money? So that was what we did. Continue to build, and hence this is what we had.
This is what we got.
Beautiful event.
Yeah,
beautiful event.
And you're right. We took it away from the convention center. It's always been in aware of something.
Yeah, but we never get too big. We always try and keep it manageable to scale, because once you go this big, you can't come down. You know what I'm saying? So I never try and overextend what we do. Always keep it manageable and try and put the best people in one room. Listen, it's interesting because when you deal with people, they're all about numbers. I'm all about the quality of the individual that attends. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The type of people you got.
Correct.
The type of people you got coming
that actually care and that are going to try and make a difference.
Right. Yes.
What else do you want to know?
You're right. Barbershop Connect.
When did you start Barbershop Connect?
21 years ago. Yeah, I started, first I was doing barbershop DVDs, and those were going to barbershops and getting direct feedback. Then I launched Microsoft's barbershop program. I did that for 6 years. Went on to Procter & Gamble campaigns, and I started Barbershop Connect out of Universal Records. My partner at the time was a guy, Steve Rifkin, who ran Loud Records, and we had, at the time he had Akon, and for those of you who know Steve had Wu-Tang Clan, Mobb Deep, Big Pun, 36 Mafia, and I started it. And believe it or not, DJ Vlad, who has a website, Vlad TV, he built Barbershop Connect. He was at the desk next to me. And I hired Vlad to build Barbershop Connect, and he taught me a lot of what I know.
See? Here we go.
Listen.
What made you do these shows 3 times in a year?
It's a good question. I think that
3 different cities.
I think that there's cities that need shows, and then there's cities that are the obvious. So like this show in Phoenix, they have one show I know of, the AZ Barber Expo. Okay. Outside of that, I don't know any other shows here. And I had a barber that was at our retreat tell us that we should try and do a show here. And I think that what's funny about it is like, the market itself, Arizona has a lot of barbers. And, just trying to put on something reputable for the people here, and you go 1 year, and then you try and continue to build. You know? Yeah.
The show it came out real good. This is the second one I've been to. I went to one in LA, and then we came to this one.
Listen, I'm going to continue to put our vote in. Come to Northern California, the Bay Area.
The Bay Area.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
I would say that, well, the Bay Area, they have events now. I see a lot of small.
But not BarberCon.
Well, if I come, then that means I got to get E40, and I got to, Kafani.
Come on.
Right.
Let me know.
Listen,
There we go.
that's 40's cousin.
Right, we can do it.
Who's your cousin?
40.
Really? I used to work with him.
Yep. Yeah, I got you.
The linguistics.
Listen,
Let
man.
me tell you something.
Come on.
If E40 is listening to this, okay? E40 put me up on Rossi wine.
Yes.
Carlos
Have a
Rossi.
jug of Rossi wine, okay? And I still have the Landy bottle from back in the day.
That was his first try.
Yes.
That's when he was first try.
That was the cognac.
Yeah, he was first try.
Slurricane. Hey, man, we ain't going to hold you. Appreciate you.
Thank you again, Lee.
Thank you, Lee.
Hey, John.
Thank you, brother.
Hey, my pleasure.
Oh.